Today, I'm going to be stepping into a mentor role for you, walking you through a 14th-century-old economic framework that directly challenges today's global crisis of wealth building. Whether you're a young entrepreneur trying to build a sustainable legacy or just someone trying to make sense of our crazy modern economy, this framework offers a seriously profound perspective. It all starts with three foundational questions that are honestly more urgent today in 2026 than ever before. Let's get right into it. So, if you're a new business owner looking to build a lasting legacy, I want you to first stop and ask yourself, who truly owns the land around you? Just take a second. When you look at those towering skyscrapers, the massive industrial parks, and the residential neighborhoods, where does the ultimate ownership actually lie? Okay, let's dive into this second question. I want you to think deeply about who is really profiting from the daily grind of the workforce. When thousands of hours of human energy are spent every single day, where is the resulting wealth actually flowing? And finally, we have to ask who holds the keys to the natural wealth literally right beneath our feet? Who gets to decide how the Earth's raw materials are extracted, sold, and distributed? These three questions about land, labor, and resources are basically our roadmap for everything we're going to cover today. Let's kick things off with Pillar 1, land management. Look around today in 2026, and we're facing a pretty stark reality, right? Real estate prices are just skyrocketing, rising way faster than salaries in almost every major city in the world. Young people simply cannot afford homes in the very cities they were born in. We're seeing landlords holding dozens of empty properties just to profit from scarcity, all while local families are priced out and literally forced to squeeze into single rooms. Land is being held not to build upon or provide shelter, but purely as a mechanism to profit from artificial scarcity. But the Islamic economic framework flips this entirely on its head. It tells us that land is a sacred trust. It's absolutely not a trophy just to be hoarded. According to this ancient principle, ultimate ownership doesn't belong to the landlord or some mega corporation. The quote clearly states, "To Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth." This completely rewrites the fundamental premise of real estate. So the crucial point here is this massive mindset shift. You've got to stop viewing yourself as an absolute owner and start seeing yourself simply as a household manager entrusted with an estate. An absolute owner looks at land as a trophy to hoard while the community suffers. A household manager, though, they understand they're managing a divine trust. And a manager who hoards while the community suffers hasn't just made a shrewd business move. They have entirely betrayed the trust placed in them. Moving right along, let's look at Pillar 2, labor dignity. Think about the crazy contradiction in our modern economy. We literally have millions of people working full-time jobs who still can't pay their basic bills. We've got delivery riders navigating dangerous city streets with absolutely zero health insurance. We have factory workers in developing nations manufacturing products for billion-dollar brands, yet they're barely surviving themselves. And everywhere you look, employees are put on gig economy contracts, specifically designed to just bypass their basic rights. Now contrast that modern mess with this 14th-century-old directive. Just listen to this incredibly profound standard. Give the worker his wages before his sweat dries. As a young entrepreneur managing a team, this needs to be your benchmark. You don't wait until the end of the month or whenever it's convenient for your corporate cash flow. You pay your team immediately. I actually chatted with a local bakery owner recently who switched to daily payouts for her staff, and she told me morale and loyalty just spiked overnight. Why? Because it recognized the immediate value of their physical and mental exertion. And this brilliantly illustrates how these ancient principles of worker dignity actually predate our modern corporate labor laws by, well, 14 centuries. Back in the 7th century, a standard was set that honestly still outpaces today's policies. Sure, the 20th century gave us modern labor laws, but here we are in 2026, and gig economy workers are still fighting tooth and nail for the most basic of rights. That historical standard of paying someone before their sweat dries, it remains totally revolutionary today. All right, that brings us to Pillar 3, resource sharing. We see a deep, deep discomfort with resource sharing playing out on a global scale right now. Look at places like the oil communities in Nigeria or the Congo and across the developing world. You've got populations sitting on some of the absolute richest natural resources on the planet. Yet the people living right above those resources remain among the poorest in the world. The dynamic is tragically simple. Corporations extract, governments negotiate, and communities, they just watch. But once again, the Islamic stewardship model offers a really stark alternative. The Prophet stated, Muslims share equally in three things: water, pasture, and fire. To put that into perspective for our modern world, it means the foundational natural resources, the water we drink, the land that sustains us, the energy powering our grids, none of that belongs to the highest corporate bidder. And it doesn't belong to the most powerful government either. It belongs equally to the people. So as a young entrepreneur facing some tough ethical trade decisions and really looking at how your company uses local resources, I want you to realize something important. This isn't some radical redistribution scheme. It's just basic justice. Take local community solar initiatives, for example, where neighborhoods pool their resources to power their own grid. That is modern resource sharing in action. Acknowledging that natural resources belong to the community they come from is, simply put, doing the right thing. Let's tie this all together under one massive concept: the trust of stewardship. All three of these pillars are anchored by Khalifa or stewardship. Now, what this means is that, yes, you can absolutely own property, you can earn a great living, you can for sure build generational wealth, but the land you hold, the people you employ, and the resources you access are all trusts placed in your hands by God. And here is the unbending rule when it comes to personal responsibility. Every single trust comes with strict accountability. So, what does this mean for you right now? Let's turn this into your personal daily code of conduct, a quick checklist to audit your resource usage. Habit 1: manage your land and real estate as a communal trust, not as a tool for artificial scarcity. Habit 2: ensure ultimate labor dignity by paying your workers instantly and fairly, literally before their sweat dries. And habit 3: ensure that any resources you utilize actively benefit the local community, rather than just extracting from them. Because look, when we zoom out and look at the whole shebang, our global economy isn't hurting because there's a lack of wealth. I mean, there is plenty to go around. The world is struggling because that immense wealth is heavily concentrated in the hands of people who have totally forgotten they are just household managers, not absolute owners. This economic framework solved this exact problem in principle 14 centuries ago. The only question left is, are we actually ready to apply it? As we wrap up this explainer today, I'd love to have a real conversation with you down in the comments. Take a look around your own city or town right now. Which of these three pillars, land, labor, or resources, do you see being the most exploited in your local community today? Really think about it. Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep learning together.